So this is lesson 9.4. It is all about permutations and combinations. We are going to talk today about calculating permutations and about calculating combinations. Now notice the word calculate is used a couple of times, which means you're going to need a calculator. So make sure that you grab one. We're going to talk about how to access the permutations and combinations on your graphing calculator so that you can perform these pretty easily. Okay? First up, a permutation is all of the different possible ways a set can be organized when order matters. So the order of how they are organized is important. So for example, if you're in a club and you're choosing a president, vice president, and treasurer, the order is important because if you're choosing, George for president, that's different than choosing George for vice president or George for treasurer. So the order is important in how we're organizing this. That's going to be a permutation. So there are 5 students waiting outside my door. In how many different ways can the students line up? So let's think about this. If they're lining up, they have, for the first position that's closest to the door, you have 5 different people that could be there, right? So then one person steps in line, and now we have 4 left. And then we have 3 people left who could take that position. And then we have 2 people left. And then we have 1 person left. Now we know from our counting principles that we can just multiply these together. 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1 is 120. There are 120 different ways that we can organize these 5 people in line, okay? Because order matters. Being first in the room is obviously better than being last into the math room, for no other reason than you get a calculator, right? Now, let's talk about how to access this on your calculator menu. On the left-hand side of your calculator, right under the green alpha button, you have a math button. Go ahead and push that. And a little menu comes up, and across the top, you can see a bunch of different submenus. Arrow over to the PROB, that's the probability menu. And then you can see there numbers 1 through 8, and your second one is NPR. So arrow down to choose that and hit enter. Now on your calculator, you should see blank P blank. So there should be like a little box and then a P and then a little box, okay? In the boxes goes the number of students that you're choosing and how many. So we're going to choose 5 students and we're going to take all 5 of them. That's a little hard to see. So anyways, type in 5 into both of those boxes and then hit enter. You should also get 120. Okay, that's how you're going to use your calculator to figure out permutations. The 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 is not too bad, but let's say we were picking 17 students. You don't want to have to sit there and multiply it all out. So we're going to use our permutation menu to do this, okay? Let's try another one. Using the set of letters A, B, C, D, E, F, and G, how many 3-letter air quote words, we're not making real words, obviously, but we're calling a word a 3-letter grouping, can we make? Well, how many letters are we working with? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 letters. So we're going to take 7 letters, okay? And order matters. This is a permutation because ABC is different than CBA, right? Those are 2 separate quote unquote words. So we're going to take a permutation of 7 things and we're choosing 3 to make a 3-letter word. So go back to that math menu, arrow over to probability, choose the second one, the NPR, and then fill in 7 and then 3 and hit enter, and you should get 210. There are 210 different words you can make with these 7 letters, okay? Again, we're not talking about real words. I just want to clarify that. We're talking about a string of 3 letters. This is a permutation because the order matters. They are all different letters. By the way, when you're doing this, make sure that your bigger number always goes first, because the total number goes first, and then it's a permutation of how many you're choosing. Okay, so we're making 3. If we're making 4-letter words, it'd be 7P4, etc. Okay? Now, a combination is different than a permutation because order does not matter. So, for example, if I was choosing 3 students from my class to go to lunch with me, it wouldn't matter if I chose Joe and Melanie and Maria, right? Or if I chose Maria, then Joe, then Melanie. The order that I picked them, it didn't matter. They would all three just get to go to lunch. So a combination is just kind of like a grouping that you're making. It doesn't matter in which order you pick them. It just matters that they're being picked, okay? So order is not important when we're organizing these sets, which if you think about it means we're going to have fewer possibilities. So a group of 7 students is working on a project. They have to choose 2 people to present. It doesn't matter if they choose Jose and then Bill, or if they choose Bill and then Jose. Either way, those 2 are presenting, right? So how many different arrangements of presenters can you make from the 7 students? This is going to be a combination, and it's going to look very much like a permutation, okay? So it's going to be 7C, and then we're choosing 2, so 7C2. Now go back to that math menu, arrow over to probability again, and this time number 3 you'll see is NCR. So we're going to type in 7C2 in our calculator, and we're going to get 21. Okay? So because it doesn't matter the order that we're choosing the people in, there's fewer ways to organize this because the 2 people are the 2 people. All right? That's kind of what this is saying. So hopefully this is kind of making sense. We're going to be using calculators to do this. So the first question you want to ask is, does the order matter? If yes, you're using NPR, and if no, you're using NCR. So you kind of have to think about the situation and think, does it matter if I pick, this person, then this person, or am I just picking both of them for whatever? Okay. So Ms. Khan has 48 pre-calc students, 21 are male and 27 are female. I want to choose 6 students to create a tutoring group for another class. How many different ways can a tutoring group be made? So if I'm choosing 6 students, does it matter, first of all, if they're male or female? No, it does not. I could have 6 girls, 6 guys, or a combination, right? It doesn't matter because they're all tutoring. Second question, does it matter what order I pick them in? Is the first person I pick going to be the better tutor than the second one? No, I'm just picking 6 people to be tutors. So this is going to be a combination, and we're going to take 48, we're going to try C, and then how many are we choosing? We're choosing 6, okay? So we're going to take, again, go to that math menu, arrow over to probability, and choose number 3, which is the NCR. Type in 48C6, and you can see that there are, let me write this down for you, 1, 2, 2, 7, 1, 5, 1, 2. So 12,271,512 ways that I can make this tutoring group from my 48 students. That is a lot of possibilities. Now, what am I going to do? I'm going to pick 6 students. I'm probably going to put the names in a hat and pull them out, and it's going to be random. But there are over 12 million ways that I could pull those 6 names out of the hat. It's kind of crazy to think about, right? So hopefully you're understanding the difference between a permutation and combination. That's a big one. So as you're doing your assignment, make sure you're thinking about, does it matter what order I pick them in? For example, if we're picking first, second, and third place, the order matters. That's going to be a permutation. If I'm choosing people to do a service project, that's not going to matter. It's just going to be the 5 people that I'm choosing, okay? So really think about, does order matter? And then use your P or your C, depending, and then just use your calculator. There are formulas to calculate this, but use your calculator. You have this tool. You should definitely be using it. Go in that math menu, again, arrow over to probability, and choose either 2 for a permutation or 3 for a combination, okay? Best of luck on your assignment, and let me know if you have any questions.